Hey everybody, we're here with the Everyday Heroes of Effective Giving series, produced by Intentional Insights, where we interview everyday heroes of effective giving and learn their stories, what makes them passionate about effective giving, and why they do what they do. So our guest today will be Duyvestyn, and she'll be sharing with us her perspective and her story. And the first question I want to ask her is to share about what makes her passionate about effective giving and how she defines effective giving as such. Over to you.
So I guess defining effective giving, it's about doing what I can to help make a difference. So giving to high impact charities. So that's the effective part of it, and that's the giving part of it, and that's why I do it. And that's also what makes me passionate about it. So that's the answer to the other question, is that the passion for me comes from the fact that it's high impact and I have that potential to have that impact and know that I'm doing that. So for me, it's like when I was in high school, I guess I didn't really know where to start with wanting to do good. And I used to avoid the news. The world wasn't the place that I really wanted it to be. So I just kind of put it in I'll think about that tomorrow box. It's not a problem I can deal with. And I found I was never really happy doing that. So after I came across the idea of effective giving, I guess now I feel that I can deal with the issues because there is someone that is doing the research and looking into it and saying, okay, if you do this, if you give, to these certain places, then you are doing good and you're doing this much good specifically. 50 cents can deworm a child, or $25 can prevent blindness. And knowing that is part of what makes me really passionate about effective giving, because now I feel like I can really make a difference. And then I guess for me, the other part especially is the community. So there's all these people out there that are doing this, part of the effective altruism movement, that are promoting effective giving, and people that have dedicated their lives to making a difference and to making sure that when they're doing good, they're doing their most good. And to me, that's really great to be able to have these other people who are also really passionate about it to talk to and to bounce ideas off, and to know that they're doing this as well.
Great, thank you. So I think it's really revealing when you talk about kind of knowing how much good you can do, and knowing that it's evidence-based and that you can be confident about the good that you do, and the community aspect of it, that there are other people who do good. They research it, they find out about it, and you can talk to them, and you can be part of a community doing this effective giving. I think that's really great. And so that leads me to my next question of how exactly did you get into effective giving?
So for me, it was only about 2 years ago, I think, and I was just happened to be watching a lot of TED Talks and stuff at the time, and came across the Peter Singer TED Talk, The Life You Can Save, and really liked the idea of Give Well and the life you can save, and the information that they had there about the differences between different charities. And it really blew my mind that some charities can be thousands of times more effective, or that some charities actually didn't know how effective they were, or they could be harmful. And that really surprised me. I guess it was something I never really thought about before. And then that on top of giving what we can, and finding out about these people that had pledged to give a certain amount of their income, and to me that seemed like such a logical thing to do. And then finding out also from the TED Talk about where I sat on the global scale of income, and that straight out of university with a part-time job, I was already, I think, in the top 4% or something. And that blew my mind. I was like, I've only just finished uni. How am I earning relatively that much money? To me, it felt like nothing. So I was talking to my partner a lot about this and bouncing all this idea off him. And and I said to him, one day I'm going to do this. When I finish paying off my student loan, this is something that I'd really be interested in. And then as I was saying that, I thought, well, that's probably what everyone says. They probably say, one day I'm going to do this when I have enough time, when I have enough money. And I just thought, well, with what I've already got now, I can already do this. So I signed up for Giving What We Can and pledged 10% of my income, I think that same evening. And it just really made sense to me. Everything that was part of the effective altruism movement, and especially the effective giving, seemed like something I should have been doing the whole time anyway. And why wasn't everyone doing this already? Yeah, and then I guess from there, my story goes a bit further, is that I did this and then we also founded a group in Perth. So it was just me and my partner. I was annoying him with ideas and questions all the time, and I was thinking there's got to be more people, at least in Perth, that are interested in these ideas and passionate about effective giving. So I joined the Effective Altruism Hub online. There was one other person on that hub that was in Perth. So we're quite an isolated city, but I thought there might be more than that. And eventually got in contact with some people in the UK, and they put me in touch with this one other person in Perth. And one of my friends from university ended up pledging 10 as well. So the four of us, we started a group, and now there's a core group of effective altruism in Perth, and excitingly, they're managing to keep going and do the meetups, even though I've moved to Melbourne now. So that's really good. I feel like, yeah, it was a really big part of me joining Effective Altruism was me founding this group, and I think it made it more important for me to have all these people I can talk to.
Cool. Thank you for sharing, Joe. So I think that's the story of kind of realizing that, just going out of university, you are already like in the top, 4 or 5% of the people who are earning an income. And without, paying off your student loans, you can, pledge right now and make a real difference right now and do good right now. I think it's very tempting to say, oh, I can wait until this thing, pledge, pay off my student loans, buy a house, something like that. There's always tomorrow, but we can be doing it today. And I think that's the great thing, that we can be doing it today. And we can be doing it as part of the community. I think the story you share, that there are meetups of effective altruists all around the world, including in Perth and in Melbourne and everywhere, that folks get together and they talk about this stuff and they talk about the most effective ways to give. And so that leads me to my next question for you, Joe. What are you doing now regarding effective giving? Where do you give, and why do you give how you give?
Yeah, so as I said, I pledged 10 with Giving What We Can. So at the moment, I'm giving 10% of my income to high impact, proven, cost-effective charities. Mostly I'm giving to the Giving What We Can recommended charities. So they've got their top 2 or 4. And also I look at the Life You Can Save website. And so most of my money will go to the Giving What We Can ones and to Giving What We Can itself as well. But I have a little bit that I have as my like occasional giving, and I don't know, something like Mother's Day, I will donate to the Fistula Foundation or something like that. And I like sharing that on social media and trying to really promote that I'm doing this effective giving, which sometimes can be quite hard. And then I've also donating to Cool Earth as well, which I kind of see as my carbon tax offset. And then I'm also going to the meetup. So there's a meetup group here in Melbourne that I've been to a few times, and that's been really great. Meeting the people over here. I'd actually talked to them already before when I was living in Perth, so I knew them online. It was great to finally meet people in person, and then also there's a Life You Can Save group, and I've been going to that, and we're planning with that to start giving some talks at businesses, organisations, and do that. And this year in July, I think I'm going to the Effective Altruism in Melbourne, so the conference that they're having here. And I'm really excited about that. to hopefully learn a lot more about the movement and once again meet some people that I've met online and not met in real life. So yeah, it's at the moment.
Yeah, those are really great charities, and The Life You Can Save and Giving What We Can are great organizations to check out and see the kind of charities they recommend, as well as something mentioned by Joe earlier, GiveWell, which evaluates charities and does high-depth research reports, in-depth research reports on these charities. Well, I have one last question for you, Joe, and that's what do you plan to do regarding effective giving in the future, and what kind of a mark do you want to leave in the world?
Yeah, so I guess my main plan is to stick with my pledge, so my 10% of my income, and hopefully increase that at some point. If my income increases or if I feel like I'm in a position to do so, I'd love to be able to set myself a goal to increase that a little bit every now and then, and to obviously pay attention to the research going on and which are the most high impact charities. I definitely don't think I will stick with the same charities all the time. I'm sure that the recommendations will change and the evidence will change. And I guess I'm also going to try stay or get more involved in the groups that are running. So going to the Life You Can Save meetup was really great, and I think that there's a lot I can do to get myself more involved in that group and what they're doing. And same with the Effective Altruism group here in Melbourne. I'd love to, for us to start organising some events we can do, running some giving games, even just talking more about how we can spread the ideas of effective giving on by talking to our friends and on social media. And I feel like there's definitely a lot more we can be doing with that. And I don't know what the rest of the question was. The future of giving, yeah. I think I answered it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Joe. And really, I really appreciate you sharing your story. It sounds like you're going to do what Charles Breslauer of The Life You Can Save called doing your personal best, slowly increasing your involvement as you're capable, not trying to push yourself too hard, and just making it sustainable, effective giving over time, and engaging with a community of other people who engage with effective giving and promoting it to other folks to let them know about this opportunity to improve the world in a research-based, evidence-based way, to really do the most good that you can. Well, thank you so much for appearing in the program, Joe. Really appreciate it. And this has been the Everyday Heroes of Effective Giving series produced by Intentional Insights. I'm Dr. Gleb Sapolsky, the president of Intentional Insights. Thank you for checking this out.